Hello everyone. Today we will discuss chapter 5 of your science textbook, that is grouping materials of different kinds. Students, in this chapter you will learn about different kinds of materials around you and the properties of that materials, that is appearance, hardness, solubility or insolubility, density and about the transparency. So let's begin with introduction. A thing that can be seen or touched is called an object, and an object is called vastu or cheez in Hindi. So, the matter of which an object is made is called material. We see a large number of objects around us. There are human beings, animals, birds, and insects around us. We also have different types of plants and trees. The objects like table, chair, books, blackboard, chalk, paper, clothes, bicycle, toys, utensils, they are also around us. We can go on adding more and more objects to this list of objects which can we see around us. In fact, there is a large variety of objects around us. Some of these objects are natural. Natural means which occur in nature as such. Whereas other objects are man-made or we can say artificial. So all these objects are of different shapes, size and colors. They also have different properties. Now in order to understand objects around us, it is necessary to classify them into groups. We will now discuss how the various objects are classified. If we go to a provision store in a market, we will find that the various objects being sold in the shop are arranged in groups on the shelf. For example, all kinds of soaps are placed together at one place. All types of biscuit are placed together at another place. Similarly, other objects like pulses, spices, dry fruits, chocolates, toothbrush, etc. all are placed in their respective places in the shop. The advantage of placing the various objects group wise is that it becomes very easy to locate a particular object. For example, if we ask the shopkeeper for a particular brand of soap, then the shopkeeper go to the shelf containing soaps only and takes out the required soap from it. We say that the shopkeeper has arranged the various objects into groups or that he has classified the object. However, although objects like soap, biscuit, pulses, spices, chocolates are all mixed up in the shop, then what will happen? It will not be easy for the shopkeeper to locate the particular soap immediately. So we can now write a definition of classification, that the sorting of object into groups with each group having its own characteristic properties. That is called classification of object. Now, the objects having different properties are placed in different groups. For example, all type of soaps have similar characteristics. So all type of soaps are placed in one group. Similarly, all types of biscuit have similar characteristics, so all types of biscuit have also been placed together in one group. But the characteristics of soap are different from those of biscuit. Therefore, soap and biscuit have been placed in different groups. Okay? So, what are the advantages of being that classified the object? First, that classification, here it is given. Reason for classification, that it is easier to locate them and work with them. The classification object into groups helps in understanding them. This is because we know the properties of any one member of the group, we can get an idea of properties of other members of that group. Okay. So 5 list it is given. Reason, to save time to find the object, it saves our energy. For convenience to the store, and last, convenience to the study. Means from taking the properties of one member of that group, we can easily get the idea of other members also. Now, classification of various objects into group can be done on the basis of their similarities and dissimilarities, such as living or non-living, plant or animal, natural material, their use, color, shape, size, appearance, texture, etc. So all the objects can be classified into two main groups, that is living object and non-living object. After that, living objects can be classified further into two groups, plants and animals. And then what about non-living things? Non-living object can be classified into many groups according or on the basis of their nature of material, their use, color, shape, size, appearance, hardness and texture. So the classification of the object into groups can be done only when the objects have some similarities and some dissimilarities. Dissimilarities means difference. The object cannot be classified into groups if all of them are similar or all of them are dissimilar. Okay, thus we have some objects which are similar in all respect and they can be classified into different groups. Now, properties. Properties of material. We make many objects which are used for various purposes in home, transport, industries. These objects are made of one or more materials. Means different materials have different properties. So we choose the material to make a particular object on the basis of their properties. For example, we make tumbler materials such as glass, plastic, steel. Why? Because all of these materials have property of holding water or other liquids. We cannot make tumbler out of the piece of cloth or paper because a piece of cloth or paper cannot hold water. Water will just leak out of the piece of cloth. Similarly, we make cooking utensils of materials such as copper, aluminium, stainless steel. Because these materials can conduct heat well. We do not make cooking materials of paper like materials because they will burn out as soon as they kept in a burning gas stove. We use gold metals for making ornaments because it has shiny appearance or luster. We use steel for making buildings or bridges because it is very hard and strong. We use cotton wool for filling pillows because it is very soft. We use wood for making boats because it floats on water. We use clear glass for making window panes. Why? Because it is transparent and we can see through it. And we use bricks for making walls of our house because they are opaque and nothing can be seen through them. So we will now use the different properties of materials to classify them into different groups. So what are that properties? Appearance means material is shiny or dull. Hardness or softness. Solubility or insolubility in water. Density means heaviness or lightness with respect to water. And at last, transparency. Transparency means about transparency, translucency and opaqueness. So we will now discuss all these different methods of the classification of materials in detail one by one. So starting with appearance. If we look at a gold ornament, we will find that it has a shiny appearance. In science, the shiny appearance is indicated by the term that is luster. Okay. So gold is said to have luster. Luster means in Hindi we can say chamak. On the other hand, if we look at the piece of wood, it does not have a shining appearance. Means wood does not have the luster. Wood has a dull appearance. Thus some materials have shiny appearance whereas other materials do not have shiny appearance. So on the basis of their appearance, all the materials can be classified into two groups. First one, that materials have luster. Second, materials having no luster. Means first one for shiny appearance. Second one for dull appearance. Diamond is also included in luster properties. Okay. So those materials which have dull appearance are said to have no luster. For example, paper, cardboard, wood, chalk, cotton, plastic, rubber, sand. These are the examples of dull appearance. Okay. Second property is hardness and softness. First, softness. Okay. How can we decide that something is hard or soft? If we press a piece of iron metal with our hands, we will find that it cannot be compressed at all. A piece of iron can also not be cut, bent, or stretched easily. We say that iron is a hard material. In other words, iron has the property of hardness. Now, if we press a piece of sponge between our hands, we will find that it can be compressed easily into smaller size. And a piece of sponge can also be cut, bent, or stretched easily. So we say that sponge is a soft material. In other words, sponge has the property of softness. So all the materials can be divided into two groups on the basis of their hardness and softness. First, hard material. Second one, soft material. So those material which cannot be compressed or cut easily, they are hard material like iron, steel, wood, stone, glass, bones, teeth, diamond. One thing that you have to remember, diamond is the hardest natural material known. Okay. Now, all of you already know the materials that can be easily compressed: sponge, cotton, wool, foam, rubber, candle wax, butter, clay, flour, feather, skin, tomato. Okay, these are the example of soft material. Now moving towards the next property, that is solubility in water. Water dissolves a large number of materials, but it cannot dissolve all the materials. The some materials are soluble in water, whereas other materials are insoluble in water. So all the materials can be classified into two groups on the basis of their solubility. Materials which are soluble and materials which are insoluble in water. Okay. Now how can we check that the particular material is soluble or not? First, if we take the example of sugar, add a half spoon of sugar in water, shake it well. You will observe that sugar has disappeared into water. So we can say that sugar has dissolved in water, or that sugar is soluble in water. But what about in case of sand? If we mix sand into water, then what will happen? That sand will settle down at the bottom. Why? Because it is insoluble and sand does not dissolve in water. Okay. Now there are some materials in liquid that are soluble or insoluble. So for liquids we are using word miscible with water and immiscible with water. Like glycerin, milk, lemon juice, vinegar, alcohol. These are soluble in water and we use the word miscible with water. And about oil, mustard oil, coconut oil, groundnut oil, kerosene, petrol, these are insoluble in water, means immiscible with water. Now this is about solid and liquid. What about gases? Is there some gases that can dissolve in water? Some gases dissolve in water, whereas other gases do not dissolve in water. Like oxygen. Oxygen dissolve in water. That is, oxygen gas is soluble in water. The plants and animals which live in water use the oxygen dissolved in water for respiration. Okay. So oxygen gas dissolved in water is very important for the survival of animals and plants that live in water. What about carbon dioxide? Carbon dioxide gas also dissolved in water, means it is also soluble in water. The plants which live in water use carbon dioxide that is dissolved in water for the process of photosynthesis. Now the two example of gases which do not dissolve in water, means insoluble in water, are nitrogen and methane. Okay. Now next is object that can sink or float. How we can decide that the particular object will sink or float? Some materials are heavier than water, whereas other materials are lighter than water. In science, the heaviness and lightness of materials are indicated by the term density. A substance which is heavier than water is said to have the higher density than water, whereas a substance which is lighter than water is said to have lower density than water. Okay? So all the materials can be classified into two groups on the basis of their density. First, materials which are heavier than water, means higher density. Second, the materials which are lighter than water, means lower density than water. Now, the concept that you have to understand, the material which sink in water is heavier than water, and the material which float on water is lighter than water. Okay? Means the object having the higher density than water, it will sink, and the material or objects having the less density than water, it will float on water. Okay? See, less density it will float, and higher density than water it will sink. Now some questions are here. You have to decide that if the particular object sink in water, that you can classify that it has a higher density than water. So will a needle float or sink? Or a plastic pen float or sink in water? Or will the pencil float or sink in water? This you can try by yourself and decide that their density is heavier than water or lighter than water. Okay? Now next is transparency. Transparency means classification of materials on the basis of transparency, translucency and opaqueness. So what are these terms? The properties of material due to which we can see through it clearly. It is called transparency. The property of material due to which we cannot see through it clearly, means we can see but not clearly, it is translucency. And the property of material due to which we cannot see through it at all is called opaqueness. So materials are classified into three groups: transparent material, translucent material and opaque material. We will now discuss the three types of materials one by one. Let's start with transparent materials. Those materials through which we can see clearly are called transparent material, like glass window, because glass is a transparent material. It allows almost all the light to pass through it. Due to them, which the object behind them can be seen clearly. Now some examples of transparent materials: glass, air, clean water. Some plastics like polythene, groundnut oil, alcohol, these are the transparent material. Now those material through which we cannot see clearly are translucent material, like glass window of our bathroom. So ground glass is a translucent material. Translucent means semi-transparent, partially you can see. Ground glass, butter paper, tracing paper, oil paper, tissue paper, muddy water, clouds, these are considered in translucent materials. Now about opaque. Those material through which we cannot see at all, they are called opaque material. Like sheet of cardboard. Cardboard is an opaque material. The opaque material does not allow any light to pass through them, due to which the object kept behind them cannot seen at all. Okay, so transparent material allows all the light to pass through it, translucent material allows some of the light to pass through it, and opaque material does not allow any light to pass through it. This is the reason why from transparent we can see through it, from translucent we can see partially, and from opaque we cannot see at all. Okay, so example of opaque material: cardboard, wood, metals, bricks, stone, books, etc. These are the examples of opaque material. Okay, so I hope you get it very well about the properties of materials and how we can